San Diego is summer already. It's June. And hey, check it. 2 numbers. They're going to maybe hit a little insidious, and you're going to want to know what those are.
Yeah, and rate predictions are shifting. You've probably seen it on the ground, so stay tuned for that as well.
Let's get into it. We warned of a mixed bag, and here we are. We're sitting in the belly of the whale as we start off our peak selling season, annualized, right? This is when the action always pops off.
Yeah.
By the way, welcome to summer. You made it, right? So in the real estate game, here's what's crazy, okay? So check these numbers out. So closed sales up 3.2%, kind of a null, kind of expected, okay? This is the time for that. 1 year change in median sales price. Ready for this? Up or down?
Gotta be up.
Up almost 12%.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about 12% on where we're sitting now, and the median being 7 figures, that's a big deal.
Yep.
Okay. Not to be overlooked. And then 1 year change in homes for sale, and this is the harbinger here, 33%. All right. So what's happening? What's this all mean? Number side, guys. So what's happening is this, okay? The market got all crazy. Everybody got all crazy beginning of the year, and then it waned a little bit because rate guy is going to tell you that the rates got all moody, and we're still sitting and sorting through the moodiness of that. But all the while, the inventory is always the lagging indicator.
Yeah.
So we've been sitting here preaching on this pulpit. Hey, if you're trying to sell, you're trying to time it, get in front of this because what's coming next is going to be the repletion of inventory, and now we're starting to see it. So now inventory is up triple-digit percentages in many of the little micro markets throughout the county. And so as the inventory is starting to now balloon, the demand is starting to wane a little bit. We're actually seeing like month over month, actually some reduction in some of the pockets of San Diego for prices. So it's like these two ships are slowly, because it's been like this forever, right? Like crazy prices, crazy high demand, hardly in inventory, people just waiting on the sideline to time it, and they're slowly starting to reach that parity effect right now, hinged, of course, on the rates. So as my man talks about rates here, here's my big mic drop, gang, is get in front of this stuff, right? If we're going to be on the shoulders of these rates, this is the market now. It's going to be the market for a while.
Yeah.
So if you're a seller, don't wait for the laggard of news to get your home prepped up, declutterized, dematerialized, and then photoed and ready to go sign in the yard the weekend it happens, because it's like that. It's like that temporal. And if you're a buyer, same game, right? You're playing the rate game, I get it. But get all your ducks lined up in a row so that when the rate hits, you can jump right into it, not playing this like, oh, I'll get around to it, and then your month already passes and then you're behind the game.
Yeah, seeing a lot of that on the ground, especially with my buyer clients that are pre-approved. What's happening is they kind of were tiptoeing into this market, right? And so now what we're starting to see is this slide back into higher rates. So at the beginning of the year, all the big guys, Redfin, Zillow, Fannie Mae, they were all predicting we'd be in the 5s by the end of the year. And now here we are, June, and rates are still in the high 6s, low 7s. And so all of these revisions are happening now. And everybody thinks now we're maybe going to get to the mid 6s by the end of the year. So that waiting for the rate isn't playing out while we're seeing the market drastically shift.
And all the while, prices continue to go up. So that might be a nice comfy pillow if you're a seller. You're like, hey, I'm getting rewarded for waiting. But if you look a little deeper into that, timing is actually more important potentially. You're going to get the price, right? And if you're a buyer, you're like, well, dude, where am I? How do I succeed then? Well, it might be locking in your price today, even if it means taking a little bit higher of a payment, maybe a rate a little higher than you actually wanted to, because if you lock in your price, when the rates go down and the prices go back up, you feel good about that, and then maybe you can refinance on the line.
You said 12% appreciation on $1 million. That's $120,000.
Math guy.
$120,000 price difference.
Yeah.
Forget the rate.
Yeah.
That right there is a huge number.
Yeah.
And so if you are careful, you can avoid these trickles of different powers that aren't maybe as obvious, but definitely impact your buying.
It sounds crazy to say that, but it might just be the lesser of those two evils.
Yeah.
And gang, the thesis of the month as we move into the summer is pre-plan prevents poor performance.
Oh.